My name is Arunjay Katakam, and I want to end poverty for the last billion people by 2030. And that's why I founded a nonprofit action lab to incubate moonshot ideas. So I spent the last 10 years in financial inclusion, and I won a Grand Challenge grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And I recently published an international best-selling book called The Power of Micro Money Transfers. And I've seen the problems that we've been trying to solve in financial inclusion, international development for the last 10 years. And the problem is that it really still persists because we haven't reached the last billion. And the reasons for this is quite simple. Startups and corporates and all those who are going after and trying to solve these problems, they end up just moving up the value chain because ultimately they're either looking to survive, looking for revenue, or they just really sort of just unable to go down really to that last mile, to the bottom of the pyramid. And so even though a lot of progress has been made over the last 10 years, this population of the last billion hasn't been reached. So I want to take you through a couple of journeys and explain to you really what and how this all works. So at first, meet Shirley, a farmer living in Uganda. Last year, she bought a solar home kit and a pay-as-you-go model, and she was able to replace her kerosene lamp, right? So that, and the way it works is that you pay 50 cents a week for the device every week, and it keeps working, and you stop paying and it stops. So the idea behind it really is that 50 cents a week is the cost of kerosene, and therefore this solution is cost neutral. So it doesn't cost Shirley any more than it would if she were to continue buying kerosene for her lamps. But in addition to creating less pollution for the world, the solution improves her health, her family's health, as they don't have to breathe exhaust gases from burning kerosene. And the improved quality of light allows her son, Jerry, to study in the evenings. So over 250 million households now have solar lights installed. And that's a huge amount of progress, but there's still so much more. And one of the problems now is that the solar industry has attracted a huge amount of funding, and over 90% of funding goes towards this particular solution. And the reason is because people want to back a winning horse. So once something's proven, people are willing to invest and continue the scaling that solution. Whereas, what about the innovation that's still needed, right? So meet Kwame, a fisherman living in Madagascar, one of the poorest countries in the world. His fishing boat uses a petrol engine, which is rather expensive to run. And we haven't gotten to a point where electricity is cheaper than combustion. However, a month's use of an electric engine would reduce his CO2 emissions by 1.5 tons. And there is a voluntary carbon market that pays $12 per ton, which means $18 becomes a subsidy that could go towards making the solution either cost neutral or cost negative, meaning Kwame could pay less per month for the engine as compared to his current cost of petrol. So the next time you're booking a flight, I know we won't be doing that for a while, but any opportunity you get where it says, you can offset your carbon footprint by making a donation, please do, because that, helps. That really helps, because all these corporates who then collect that donation are forced to actually make these purchases and help people less fortunate. So our goal is to deeply research the problems that users at the bottom of the pyramid have and develop solutions that will provide and solve the identified problems, and most importantly, using a cost-neutral business model. We really don't want to burden them further, and I mean, it just wouldn't even work if the solution isn't cost neutral or cost negative, and cost negative means gives them more money than they have today. So either a revenue generator or it just costs less than the existing solution, like in the case of Kwame. So one such example is in northern Kenya, where users don't have network coverage, and because of the terrain, and they struggle to use M-Pesa, one of the most successful mobile money solutions globally. And really, from talking to these users, we've understood that building an offline solution really makes a difference. So that's the sort of projects that we are working on. And really, for me, the youth of Africa and India have shown such a strong desire to improve their situation and are eager to try new things. And a lot of them becoming gig workers, which isn't great, but for them is the first step out of poverty and getting a better life. And that, to me, just really gives me the conviction that we can solve this problem together. So if this is of interest, please visit inclusionactionlab.org and join our tribe. You can contribute in so many different ways, and there's opportunities to really come together and work towards solving this problem over the next 10 years. And we really, really need your help. I'm Arunjay, and I'm determined to end poverty by 2030, and I deeply believe it's possible. Will you join me? Thank you.